Hi and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Summer Hunt and I'm the practitioner behind Holy Holistic. I support individuals using root cause wellness and bioenergetic testing, which is a method grounded in the principles of quantum physics and energy medicine. So, while the idea of energy and frequency may sound new or even unfamiliar, it's actually foundational to how the body communicates and regulates itself. And while there is still so much we are learning in the field of quantum physics, what we do know is super powerful, especially when it comes to understanding health beyond symptoms alone. So that's why I created this brief introduction webinar because when clients better understand how and why bioenergetic works, everything begins to click. So, this session is designed to give you a simple, grounded framework for understanding bioenergetics, quantum physics, and how this approach is used inside Holy Holistic. So, this will help bring clarity and direction and support to your healing process. So, by the end of the session, you'll understand that your body can communicate through energy and frequency, and how bioenergetic testing with the Quest 4 machine can bring that clarity and solutions when healing hasn't made sense before. We will touch base on some basics of quantum physics, the general breakdown of what the human body is made of, understand that we can actually measure energy in the body, the difference between balanced energy and imbalanced energy, what an imprint is, and how you can move forward with getting your bioenergetic scan. So, we're going to start with some basic understanding of quantum physics. So, this is the description of the smallest things in our universe. Things like molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, electrons, and how they all work and interact. So just because you can't see something, touch something, smell something, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. For example, things like gravity, radio waves, things along those lines. These are fundamental rules of the universe. So there are two types of energy, potential and kinetic. Potential energy is energy that is stored, while kinetic energy is energy in use. So, potential energy that has the potential to be used, kinetic energy that is being used. So, in order for electrical energy to flow, it must follow a complete path through a circuit. So, for example, at your house, you have your outlets and you have your fuse box, and energy has to go through a circuit to reach the outlet. So when we use the words like current, vibration, resonance, energy, those words can be used pretty like interchangeably with the topics that we discuss. Um, Scientifically, there might be some like subtle differences in those words, but as far as what we discussed, you can pretty much use those words interchangeably, so they can mean the same thing. So with quantum physics, everything in the universe is made up of matter and energy. So, matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Matter is the substance of which all material is made. That means objects which have mass. So, energy is used in science to describe how much potential a physical system has to change. So, in physics, energy is a property of matter. It can be transferred between objects and converted in form, but it cannot be created or destroyed. Energy just is. So, all matter has energy. So, by testing the response of the human body on a vibrating platform, many researchers have found that the human body fundamental resonant energy frequency to be around 5 hertz. But however, in some more recent years, they've also tested to be approximately 10 hertz. So, what's important to note here is that the human body, the resonance of the human body can be measured. So, anywhere between 5 and 10 hertz. So, what are we made out of? So these are the levels of organization. So let's start at the end and we'll work our way to the energy part. So we have the human body, which is considered an organism, which has an organ system, which is made out of organs. Organs are made out of tissues, tissues made out of cells, cells made out of molecules, molecules made out of atoms, and then we have energy. So every living cell is full of energy and vibration. It naturally communicates with neighboring cells, the body as a whole, and even the world around us. These subtle waves of energy create connection and harmony throughout the body and beyond. The body is energy that can be measured. So you may be more familiar with things that have been used in the medical system. So we have EEG, which is measuring the electrical activity of the brain. EKG, so electrocardiogram, which is measuring the electrical activity of the heart. And we also have our Quest 4 machine, which is what I use. So with the Quest 4, I'm looking at the functional aspect of the body, not the symptoms or to diagnose or to name a disease. I'm not a medical doctor. We are looking at patterns of imbalances to support balance back to optimal health. So we're going to talk briefly about two different situations. So in the first situation, we have a balance in energy, which is going to lead to normal function, ability to adapt to its environment. So, normal function over time can adapt to its environment. Basically, if an issue comes up out of our control, our bodies have a greater chance to adapt to something around us that for others with dysfunction will cause greater harm. And that will then lead to better health. So in our second situation, this is where we have an imbalance, which an imbalance is going to be too much or too little of something, which will then lead to malfunction, which will then over time lead to the disease process. So malfunction over time will lead to disease, which is a lack of ease, which is a lack of ability to adapt to some kind of stress. This is where at this point symptoms will start to come up. So at some point, your body is going to start expressing these symptoms. And at that point, dysfunction didn't just set in, it's already been over some time. So then typically people run to the doctor, get a diagnosis, and receive treatment like medication, sometimes invasive procedures and surgeries. They will then get put to different specialists, having to go to different appointments, different doctors, different specialists, and sometimes that process can just go on and on. And typically, there isn't a deep look at the overall function of the body, it's just straight to medical treatment. So at Wholly Holistic, we work together to bridge that gap. So what I don't do is treat, diagnose symptoms or disease. What we do is balance the imbalances and change malfunction, disease process, symptoms, and diagnosis to normal function and health. So as long as you have enough time. So, meaning depending on where your body is at, there is no guarantee we can just turn everything around. Of course, God has the ability to turn anything around. But sometimes in this process, whether it's through functional medicine or the medical system, we get to a point where we may at least have a chance of extending life and or improving quality of life. So this isn't to sound less hopeful, it's to encourage not waiting until it's too late to do something. So your best bet is prevention and not waiting until things get so bad you are desperate. So let's take care of our bodies sooner than later. Lastly, I want to mention is something called imprints. So, following a bioenergetic scan where the results of the scan are showing balancing frequency items, using the Quest 4 machine, we can transfer the balancing energetic patterns from those results into a medium for your body to use and give the corrected information for your energetic field to bring balance. So, imprints can be a totally brand new concept for many. It definitely was for me. So, let me explain a little more. So think of your body like a finely tuned instrument. Over time, stress, toxins, infections, emotional weight, and even past experiences can throw certain strings out of tune. The quest for frequency imprint helps bring those strings back into alignment. So during your scan, we identify specific frequencies that are stressing your body. So we're not guessing, but patterns your nervous system is actively responding to. So a frequency imprint is then created using the exact information your body needs to recognize and release those stressors. So here's the key part. The imprint doesn't force change, it works by reminding the body of a more balanced state. So your own system can respond and self correct. That's why it feels gentle, yet often pretty profound. So, what makes this unique to this service is personalization. So no two imprints are the same. Your imprint is created specifically from your scan, your stress patterns, and your current state. It's not a generic protocol or a generic one size fits all supplement. It's information tailored to your body, delivered in a way your system understands. The importance of the imprint is that it helps shorten the gap between knowing what's wrong and your body actually responding. It supports regulation, clarity, and momentum, often helping the body feel safer and more supported as it moves through that healing process. So, quickly, I know I'm going on about this, but this is really important to understand how valuable imprints are. So, another analogy would be like a phone with an update available notification. So your body runs on information. When stress builds up, it's like operating on outdated software. A frequency imprint works like a targeted update, providing new, accurate information so your system can function more smoothly. So, in simple terms, it's not adding something new to your body, it's helping your body remember how to respond more clearly and efficiently. So, what are imprint mediums? So, these are just a few examples of some things that we often use at Holy Holistic with my clients. So, probably the most common one is going to be this tincture here. So this is what is first a blank tincture with mainly purified water and a little bit of alcohol. So what most like herbal tinctures or homeopathic tinctures are made out of without anything else present. And that we use to upload those frequencies into this bottle. So you can take drops. And that's pretty easy just to be able to like add that to your supplement protocol. You're taking your drops X amount of times, X amount of days, whatever is recommended for you. We also have some gemstone bracelets. So I also have another line of Holy Holistic jewelry. So this is really cool. So I have different gemstones and metals that I use to imprint different frequencies like EMF protections and other things that are going to be more general to our energetic field. But also we can use these as a medium to imprint your specific scan results into a bracelet or another type of piece of jewelry or gemstone. Lots of options there. And then we also have these imprint patches. So these are just little stickers that can be imprinted and then placed on your skin. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Your body is not broken, it's communicating. Everything we talked about today, from quantum physics to bioenergetics, points to one simple truth: information matters. So, when the body is given the right signals in the right order, healing becomes possible. So the quest for allows us to listen to your body at a deeper level, beyond symptoms, beyond guesswork, and uncover what's really influencing your health. So, not to overwhelm you, but to bring clarity, direction, and peace to the process. If you're ready to move forward, your next step is simple. Begin with your scan, then we'll walk through the results together in a consult where we connect the dots and create a personalized, faith centered plan that fits your life. So, healing isn't about doing more, it's about understanding what your body needs and responding with wisdom. The best time to start with a bioenergetic body scan is yesterday. But the second best time is now. So if you haven't already, reach out directly to me to book your scan and consult. I'd be honored to walk with you through the next step of your journey. And on here on this slide is some different ways to contact me and my website. Thank you so much for being here today.